The story is set in the year 2039. Earth has become inhospitable, with oxygen levels drastically depleted. Only a handful of humans remain, and to survive outdoors, they must rely on portable oxygen units. These survivors live scattered and isolated across the globe. In these conditions, no plants can grow on the surface to replenish the earth, cutting off a vital resource. Everything is scarce. A scientist named Darius is out scavenging for valuable remnants of civilization in the dead city of New York with his father. Suddenly, an accident occurs. His father slips, causing his oxygen unit to detach. Gasping for air, his father calls for help. Darius, who had been communicating with him, rushes to his father's location in an old library building. But it's too late to save him.
Connect breathing support system. Oxygen depleted. Connect.
Meanwhile, back in the fortified bunker where Darius lives, his wife, Maya, and their daughter, Zora, live in relative comfort. They have an oxygen generator that produces breathable air, powered by the bunker's electricity. When Darius returns alone, they ask about his father, deepening his grief. With a heavy heart, Darius explains what happened and his failure to save him, especially since they were separated and could only communicate by radio during the accident. Darius intends to bury his father's body next to his mother's grave. The location is quite far from their bunker, about 5 miles or 8 kilometers. In a world of such scarcity, 8 kilometers is a significant distance. On foot, the journey would take about 7 hours. Maya offers to go with him, but Darius refuses. Darius fears the unknown dangers outside. They could encounter other survivors with malicious intent. They've lived isolated in their bunker for 3 years and haven't met another soul from the outside in a long time. That night, after Maya and Zora fall asleep, Darius discovers a devastating truth. Their oxygen generator only has about 2 months of life left. Something is critically wrong with it. Darius makes a heartbreaking decision. He will use the trip to bury his father as a pretext to leave the bunker for good. His real plan is to give his wife and daughter a fighting chance. With one less person consuming oxygen, the generator's supply might last 6 more months for just the 2 of them, buying them time to find a solution. The next day, Darius says goodbye to his family, urging them to always stick together and help one another. He then leaves, never to return to the bunker.
Try not to kill each other while I'm gone.
Airlock depressurizing. Portable life system needed.
Oxygen levels plummeted from
5 months have now passed since Darius left. Zora, who desperately misses her father, often vents her feelings over an open radio channel, hoping that somewhere out there, he might be listening. Maya and Zora carry on with their lives in the bunker. It's fully equipped with everything they need. Bedrooms, a bathroom, a kitchen, and stockpiles of food and water meant to last for years. Thanks to Darius's meticulous planning before the collapse, they were able to move into the sanctuary just as the world fell apart. Despite knowing the soil is barren, Maya still tries to grow a few plants outside the bunker, a stark contrast to the lush, healthy plants thriving inside under controlled conditions. She also trains Zora to handle any potential emergency.
Hydrogen level critical. Explosion.
Connectivity.
One day, while outside, Maya spots 2 armed strangers. They hide and watch as the strangers approach the bunker's entrance with unnerving accuracy. Zora suggests they might need help, but Maya is deeply suspicious of their intentions. The male stranger checks the rooftop, determined to contact the bunker's occupants. Seeing an opening, Maya ambushes and disarms the woman, named Tess. The man on the roof, Lucas, calls for calm, but Maya and Zora rush back inside the bunker and seal the entrance before he can follow. On the bunker's external camera feed, Tess apologizes for her partner's overreaction and insists they mean no harm. She introduces herself and Lucas, explaining they're from a settlement of about 100 survivors, roughly 100 miles away in Philadelphia. Tess explains their problem. Their air filtration system has failed, and their oxygen supply will only last a week. They need Maya's help to fix it or replicate her technology. Maya and Zora are shocked when Tess claims to know Darius from university, where they worked on a research project together. Tess says they only want to study the bunker's generator to save their own people. Maya is skeptical. She knew all of Darius's colleagues, and Tess's name is unfamiliar. She also argues the bunker systems can't support more people. Tess promises to work quickly and then leave. Maya weighs the risks. Could this be a trick to take over her home? Zora, however, is more inclined to believe their honest plea. In a critical situation like this, she argues, survivors need to help each other. Maya finally relents. She exits, demands they surrender their weapons, and has them tied up as a security measure before allowing anyone inside. She agrees to let only Tess enter. But as Maya is leading Tess to the bunker, another of their companions, a man named Micah, comes sprinting out of nowhere. Reacting instinctively, Maya and Zora fire, wounding him. In the chaos, Tess is prevented from entering. Instead, Micah ends up inside the bunker as their captive. Micah explains he was their lookout and overreacted, thinking Tess was being taken hostage. Now, Maya's trust in Tess is completely broken, and she unilaterally cancels their deal. Outside, however, Tess remains desperate and is determined to see that oxygen generator by any means necessary. Inside, Maya treats Micah's gunshot wound. Micah is a locksmith by trade, so even if he saw the oxygen generator, he wouldn't know how to replicate its complex engineering. Outside, Tess and Lucas try a new approach, using a powerful battery-operated drill to bore through the bunker's armored door. Panicking inside, Maya and Zora are further blinded as Tess covers the external CCTV cameras. Thinking quickly, Zora uses an electrical device to short-circuit and disable the drill. Undeterred, Tess climbs back onto the bunker's roof, searching for another weakness. She finds and blocks the bunker's carbon dioxide exhaust vent. This act of sabotage will slowly poison the air inside. Forced to respond, Maya tells Zora to stay put while she deals with the threat. She creates a diversion, using a side garage door to sneak out and draw Lucas away from the main entrance. Maya then secures the roof and clears the vent, restoring safe air levels inside the bunker.
This is supposed to be covering the goddamn front door! Say something!
Not out of ideas, Tess distracts Maya while Lucas sneaks onto the roof and overpowers her. Maya is easily captured, her focus diverted. Meanwhile, inside the bunker, Micah manages to free himself from his bonds and attacks Zora, tying her up instead. Now the tables have turned. Tess, holding Maya captive, orders Zora inside to open the bunker door. However, Micah, bleeding heavily from his gunshot wound, collapses unconscious before he can let his companions in. Lucas threatens Zora over the comms, demanding she open the door immediately. Unable to move, Zora uses her foot to grab Micah's mask and communicate. Since Zora is immobilized, Tess threatens Maya to give up the entry code. Maya insists it's impossible. They need a physical keycard to enter, and she doesn't have it on her. A deliberate security measure in case she was ever captured. Fearing her daughter will die tied up and trapped inside, Maya offers a solution. There's one way to get a keycard, but she doesn't have enough oxygen to make the trip. Tess gives Maya one of her own spare oxygen canisters. They then take the electric vehicle Maya uses for long trips, while Lucas stays behind to guard the bunker entrance. Their destination, Darius's final resting place. When they arrive, Maya retrieves Darius's master keycard. But a new problem arises. The electric vehicle's battery is dead. With her injured leg making a long journey on foot impossible, Maya has no choice. She hands the keycard to Tess, placing her trust and her daughter's fate in this stranger's hands. Tess promises to come back for Maya after she's done. Tess returns alone, and Lucas uses the keycard to finally open the bunker door. Once inside, Zora immediately asks about her mother. Did you kill her? Tess assures her Maya is fine. Zora is confused about how they got her father's keycard. Tess explains everything Maya told her during their trip. That Darius left a letter before he died. He sacrificed himself because the oxygen generator could only sustain 2 people, buying Zora time to fix it. You're a smart girl, Tess says. You inherited your father's gift for engineering. Tess now faces a dilemma. Should she honor her promise to Zora and go back for the oxygen-depleted Maya, or obey Lucas, who demands they immediately start replicating the oxygen generator? Lucas, having seen the machine, is in awe of its sophistication. He threatens Tess, insisting they stick to the original plan and not waste time on a rescue mission. Reluctantly, Tess prioritizes Lucas's demands and begins dismantling the generator to study it. But upon taking it apart, Tess, a scientist herself, realizes she can't replicate Darius's design. It's far more complex than she imagined and would take weeks to figure out. Lucas reminds her they don't have weeks. Their settlement in Philadelphia has less than a week of oxygen left. It took us 3 days to walk here, he says. We fed you, gave you water and oxygen. And now you're just giving up. Tess then comes clean. She never knew Darius and never worked on a project with him. She lied to Lucas and the others. She learned about this place by listening to the radio channel where Zora had been venting about her family for the past 5 months. That's how she got detailed information to use as leverage. She thought she could figure out the generator, but now she's here and can't. Even if she could, this model only supports 2 people. Enraged by her deception and broken promises, Lucas shoots Tess without hesitation. Zora watches in horror, her last hope of saving her mother vanishing. Lucas spares Zora's life for one reason. She's the only one who can fix the generator's technical problems. He orders her to teach him how everything in the bunker works. Faced with the impending failure of his settlement system, Lucas makes a cold, selfish choice. He will abandon the families, children, and elderly back in Philadelphia and claim this bunker for himself. Elsewhere, a still-living Maya is at Darius's gravesite. She tries to recharge the electric vehicle using a solar panel. It works. Slowly, she replenishes her oxygen tank enough for the journey home. While there, she notices something incredible. A plant growing from the soil. For a moment, she dares to hope that Earth's oxygen levels have normalized. She quickly removes her mask, but the air is still too thin and unsafe to breathe. She puts her mask back on, starts the now-charged vehicle and races home. Back at the bunker, Lucas is disposing of Tessa's body. He rests and helps himself to the bunker's canned food. Suddenly, the generator falters due to the aging solar panels. Zora explains this happens often. Lucas is forced to untie her and send her outside to fix it, giving her a 10-minute limit on her oxygen tank. Shortly after Zora repairs the solar cabling, she hears her mother's voice. Maya has made it back alive. Zora confronts her mother about the letter from Darius that she never mentioned. Maya apologizes, saying she did it for Zora's own good. Zora then explains the current situation and Tessa's lies, admitting her own radio confessions invited this danger. Together, they hatch a plan to lure Lucas out. Zora bangs on the bunker door, claiming her oxygen is down to 1 minute. Lucas refuses to open it. Zora then swaps masks with Maya, who has more oxygen left. Next, they deliberately cause a system error to force Lucas outside. He has no choice but to investigate and finds Zora pretending to be collapsed on the ground. That's when Maya shoots him, critically damaging his oxygen tank. They rush back into the bunker, but Lucas staggers in after them. The bunker's air is now critical and toxic. Lucas threatens them, demanding oxygen. Zora reveals her trap. She has flooded the bunker with hydrogen gas. If you fire your gun and cause a spark, this whole room will go up in flames. Maya and Zora escape, locking Lucas inside alone. With no chance of survival, Lucas chooses his own end, firing his gun and triggering a massive explosion that destroys the bunker. With their home gone, Maya and Zora's new goal is to reach Tessa's settlement in Philadelphia. They drive the electric vehicle as far as they can, heading for the subway station address Tess once mentioned. But the journey is too long, and their oxygen runs out. They lose consciousness. When they wake up, they find themselves inside the settlement, rescued by the kind people there. Zora, who regained consciousness first, has already succeeded in repairing the settlement's failing oxygen generator system. They begin to collaborate with the community. Maya shares her knowledge of botany, and together, they start the painstaking work of cultivating plants again, taking the first small steps toward rebuilding the lost civilization.